Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are here to talk about the bromance that I didn't know I needed here today. We're talking about holidays and episodes 3 through 5. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am film critic Rachel Wagner, and Anna's here.
Hi everyone, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, how's your holidays going?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good so far. Yes.
That's
We've
good.
gone to Christmas Town, seen a few Christmas big Christmas trees around, which is always fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, didn't you go to what's it called? Down in Southern California, the Dutch
Yeah.
town?
Yes, I don't know how you say it or if I'm saying it wrong, but yeah, Solvang, that's where,
Solvang, yeah.
yeah. It was really,
Nice.
yeah, that's fun.
That's good. It was magic.
It was very cool. And you felt like you were in another country because there's like so many people. They're all speaking different languages. Like it's just a lot of people. It was
Yeah.
cool.
Well, we will have one more recap of holidays when they air the final 3 episodes, and we'll do that. But we thought today would be good to just so we don't have so much in that final
Yeah.
final recap. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to talk about. Of course, is we talked about in the first episode. So they had the initial episode where they're kind of introducing you to all the families, and then each family gets their own episode after that.
hmm
How do you like that format now that you've seen a bunch of episodes? What do you think?
I think it has pluses and minuses. I think
Yeah,
it's
me too.
good. I mean, I think it's good that like every episode isn't trying to bounce around. That'd just be too chaotic. But it's like it's almost like you have a whole episode, but it's like you don't have that's not that much time.
Yeah. I
So
also
it's
think it's
yeah.
very annoying that they leave every single one on a cliffhanger. You
Yeah.
don't get a finished
Yeah.
story for any of them. It's
Exactly.
very
Every single
annoying.
time. Because yeah, when the Lynn family, well, when the Hill family ended, I guess maybe I wasn't that invested. I didn't.
Right, right. Yeah.
But when the Lynn family one ended, I was like, oh, is this how this is gonna go? And then every time it's on a cliffhanger. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so this is the model.
Yeah, I don't love that choice. I really
Yeah.
don't. But there we go. That's what they did.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
So yeah, let's dive into it. Let's talk about it. So, and I'll have a link down to our initial recap of the pilot and the second episode that they had. I mean, I think the second episode it wasn't as bad a cliffhanger because it was like so obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Like obviously he's not going to go with
Yeah.
the
With
Nazneen
whatever
character.
Stacy, whatever her name is.
Yeah. Like so it wasn't really a cliffhanger at all.
Yeah,
But in
exactly.
a way that's kind of annoying because it's just like, what are you doing? Like we all
Yeah.
know how these stories work. Like
Yeah, exactly.
but if you listen to our first recap, we weren't big fans of the plot device they chose for the Lynn family. And so now here's their episode 3.
Mhm.
And it says here, at the Lynn house, Nine unexpectedly is staying for Christmas, which is when Steve found the first flight forward to Palm Springs with the collective at the house. She openly surmises that Marcus and Ella are engaged to each other, which Marcus is dismayed to see that no one, including Ella, has corrected her in Ted still being in the closet with her, while Steve, Louis, Ella, and Ted all have different reasons for hiding his sexuality from her. Ted's, which includes the fear of their relationship changing, in he being the heir apparent to their family business. The one common factor is the fear of her. Ted, Steve, and Louis are able to convince Marcus and Ella to go along with the ruse, which they would then do for the next few days until Nina leaves. But maintaining the story only gets more complicated as Nina takes it upon herself to be their wedding planner, regardless of how distant that wedding, as they tell her, is in the future. So, what did you think of the actual episode as a whole? Did it win you over?
I did. So I did like that. What's the name? Ted. That Ted like became kind of, because I was like, how is this? I was like, how are you guys all just like so okay with going with this? I mean, I thought
Yeah.
it was okay, but I did like that he kind of became jealous because I'm like, yeah, like you need to have some reaction. Like this isn't like a normal thing to just like pretend your whole life is something completely different. I was like,
Yeah, and it just seemed it didn't win me over. I was just like, this is so annoying. I was just
yeah,
so like,
yeah,
what? I mean, there was only one moment that I liked in this episode, aside from just it being generally talented performers. They're all
yeah.
good, but as far as what they gave them to do, the very opening scene when they're all literally in the closet,
Yeah, that
and
was
then they're
funny.
like, we're all in the
He's like,
closet.
literally, look where we're standing.
That was funny. That made me laugh.
Yeah, yeah, that was
I
funny.
was
It was
like,
funny when when they're at the flower shop and she says, "This is where I buy all my friends' flowers." And then she pauses and she says, "For their funerals." And that was funny. Only
yeah,
because it
that
was,
was funny.
her delivery was funny. But yeah, the first scene I did think was funny because they were all in the closet. And I'm like, how big is this closet? It's like as big as my bedroom. Like, how big is
Yeah.
it? It looked kind of big. Yeah.
Like again, to Hallmark's problem, if Ted was 19,
Mhm.
okay, fine.
Yeah,
I would find it more believable.
exactly. Yeah. That'd be more,
But
yeah.
yeah, and that everybody would kind of go along with it too.
Yeah.
But also he's like expecting to be taken seriously as the leader of this business. How
Yeah.
could he possibly be expected to do so if he's just literally lied to her for this entire thing? I mean, it just
About a bit about who he is. I mean,
who
yeah,
he
about
is
who he
and
is.
the
Yeah.
love of his life. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense that everybody would go along with this. That it just I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I just wasn't believable that he's like whatever age he's supposed to be, and that like you said, if he was younger, it would be like, okay, maybe, he just graduated from high school and he's only 19 and
Yeah.
still, but it's like no, like he's like, I don't know, 28 or, whatever age he is. And it's like and you just expect Marcus just go along with this and pretend he's with some complete stranger basically.
No.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and that his sister would go along with it and the
Yeah.
parents and it's just
It
too
was a lot.
much. I mean, the only person who's like authentic in this whole story is, aside from the grandma, she doesn't know, is that TikTok fan person
Oh yeah.
being real. Everybody else, and
Yeah.
like I get it, it's a trope of these movies and television, to do the fake fiance, fake dating, that's a thing. But like when you pair it with a coming out story, it just
And
feels
okay.
so tired. And
Yeah.
it is amplified by the fact that like this is the only one. We've had a couple secondary characters this
Mhm.
season in Hallmark and on Lifetime and whatever, but this is the only one.
Yeah.
Cherry Tree Lane, I guess,
It's cherry
but
tree. Yeah, exactly.
this episode is the only one where the lead character is
Hmm.
an LGBTQ
Yeah.
character, and the only thing that they could come up with is a fake dating line, coming out
Yeah.
story. It's just so
It's
cringe.
like that literally anything else would have been better.
Like just make it a party, wedding planning. Like that would have been
Just
better.
make it the chaos of wedding planning. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I can be there, but she can be glad and she can be happy and she can be helping to plan,
Yeah.
but don't this is just not yeah.
I still think it would have been funnier if they'd taken, especially if you have this Emma character she's kind of like a little bit of a feminist, but oh, maybe like I actually do want to get married and maybe I do want to fall in
Yeah.
love. So you have her brother and his husband help her like feel
Mhm.
beautiful and plan her wedding and like whatever, like that would be really cute. That could
Yeah.
be cute.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Did you notice that she was in Christmas Under the Lights for like 2 minutes?
Oh, is she? I
She was
didn't
like one of the
notice
friends at
that.
the party.
Oh,
She was
is
like
she?
the friends, like high school friends at the party.
Oh, she and Leon Lapp were
Yeah,
both.
exactly. It was like three of them or something. I was like, oh, she got a little small part in this
They
movie.
deserve big parts. They deserve big. She was good. I like her in
No, I like
this.
her too. Like if they
I
used
do.
her like as a lead or something, that I mean,
Hmm.
I would be glad. I mean, we
Yeah.
definitely need more Asian, I mean, leads on Hallmark. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you know that I found out that in Canada they have 20% of the population is Asian,
That doesn't surprise me. When I visited
like
Vancouver,
way more than the
there was a
US.
lot. There was a lot of Asians when I visited Vancouver. I remember seeing a lot. Yeah. So I'm not like totally shocked, but I mean, yeah, that does sound like a high percentage. Yeah.
Like the US is 7%.
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
So the
Then that's a
way more up there in
lot.
Canada.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, only seven. That seems
Yeah.
low.
And
It's just like
obviously like different
California.
areas of the US would be different, but
Exactly, because
still.
California is a lot. In Atlanta, it's it's some, but yeah, California it's higher. So maybe
And I know even like the Twin Cities area, like Minnesota, like
yeah.
up there in Wisconsin and stuff like that, that they have a lot up there too. But yeah, it's I just learned that that's
Yeah.
why they have a lot of these Canadian movies that have Asian
Uh-huh.
casts because they have
Yeah.
a lot.
That's cool. That's good to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. But anyway, so we have this story that it starts out with them all in the closet, which was again the best part of the whole
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
He has them take off their rings, which was just painful.
It's painful.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And I would have almost liked there to be like some moment with the grandma where she says something that would give them some idea that we just take it on their word that she doesn't like change, I guess, and that she couldn't handle this.
Mm,
We're never given any actual proof that she wouldn't
yeah.
be accepting of a gay
Mm,
relationship or her grandson coming out. We're just told that.
yeah. That's true.
So, that might have helped make it a little more believable, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're trying it with all of this madness to make Marcus feel more at home. So they're making more of his favorite foods.
Hmm.
And his favorite foods are all like normal Americana foods. Well, not normal. They're his favorite foods are all Americana traditional foods with like a little bit of an Indian
Yeah.
flair to them. So he has like deep fried Twinkies with like Indian spice, like saffron and
Yeah.
Indian spice turmeric and stuff like that. And so they're working on all of that, and that was like fun and
Yeah, yeah. I
pleasant.
did like that she was the mom had that was her idea before all of this, I guess, even happened. Or maybe it was because of this. I don't remember. But I remember
Yeah,
she's like, oh, I called his mom. I found out all his favorite foods, gonna make the Frito pie and the
yeah,
weird cheese and the Twinkies and
yeah. So she's the grandma says though that they need to have a Valentine's wedding. So this
Mhm.
is moving up real fast. She
Yeah.
sets up this engagement photo shoot,
That
and
was crazy.
that was so awkward.
I mean, it can be awkward when you're like been with the person, in love with the person. It can be awkward to be like someone telling you what to do. But it's like you don't even feel comfortable this close to this person, and then you're expected to look, not
Yeah,
like
right.
I would be like so freaked out.
Yeah. So they're like, well, you got to fake it, you got to pretend. And so they're all like jazz handsing it and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, they tried to make it, just go with it and try to make it fun in their own way.
And then they go to a fortune teller, and just by their birthdays and stuff, she says, oh, they're a perfect match. Of course, we don't know, except they're not twins. So we don't know. I don't think they're twins. So we don't know his birthday.
Well, no, she said after she said it and she said they were a perfect match and the ladies left, the grandma and the lady left, then she said, I told her your birthday. Even though
Oh, I
I don't
missed
know why
that. Okay.
I don't know why the grandma wouldn't have known. That's, why are you telling
Yeah.
him his birthday? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Apparently somehow she missed it, but the sister said she told
Oh, okay. I
his
missed that.
birthday.
Yeah.
That's why it was that was a
Yeah.
good sign or
So they're a perfect match.
yeah.
And then they go dress shopping, and she does look absolutely beautiful in the red
It was
traditional
very
dress.
pretty.
And this TikToker fan, whatever, finds her. It's like, oh, you look beautiful. I never thought I'd see you in a wedding dress. And it becomes
Yeah.
this huge thing.
Yeah.
I guess she's like a big feminist TikToker.
I mean, yeah, it would have been fun even if like she finally found somebody who she had a spark with and she finally became interested in a relationship and they like helped her get ready for her date and
Yeah.
did some like fun, some fun
Yeah.
stuff with her and stuff.
Yeah.
Even that would have been good. But
It would
like
have been way
was
better.
just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. And you could even have had them be like somehow related to one of the other families. Like,
Hmm.
what if like the Hill guy, the Ian Harding had like a brother or something like that,
Yeah.
you know?
That would be cool if there was like inner, yeah.
Yeah. And she thinks he's like kind of a schlep and whatever.
Mhm.
And it turns out he's a really cool guy. Basically like somebody like Tyler's character in Three Wise Men. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like someone she'd be kind of
Yeah. Someone
judgy
like
of,
that. Uh-huh.
you
Yeah.
know? So that would have been good. Much better than this
Yeah.
nonsense that we got.
Yeah.
Um, he says that so then Marcus he like steps in. Like Ted is just about to spill the beans,
I
and
know.
Marcus says, "Oh, this is my best. Ted's my best man," and he gives Emma the ring, the special ring the grandma had given up, and I'm like,
I
"Oh,
know. Like
why?"
this is so far, you guys, and like you're taking it to a different level. It's already really bad, and you're
It's
making
like
like really.
I think because like he feels the trauma of coming out of the closet, which is sad that is still to this day still such a traumatic
Yeah.
event.
Mhm.
And so like he doesn't want his partner to go through that pain, but
Yeah.
in just delaying it, you're only delaying the pain,
Yeah. And I
you
guess because
know?
he's a therapist, he was like, he was, for his own stuff, he was feeling his own way about his own partner doing it. But then as like a therapist, he's thinking about it from Ted's perspective. And so he's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's trying to like hide that pain from him.
yeah.
But it says you can't even be honest with her about dinner.
Yeah, no, that's what the wife said. It's like, yeah, it's like you thought she was gonna freak out because we weren't having dumplings and the thing we usually have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she puts the engagement announcement in the newspaper.
I was like, this is gonna be
Oh,
so
man.
bad. I was like, how could you make all of them disappear? I'm like, that
Yeah.
makes no sense, but okay.
But it would be funny if we look through future or past episodes to see if they have any newspapers with it. That could be an
I'll have to
Easter
keep an
egg.
eye out. I don't
Yeah,
think I saw any about
because that could be funny.
Yeah.
So then they go and they see their venue, and I guess this is what they were like thinking of, where they were thinking of doing their wedding anyway. But Marcus hasn't really been involved.
Yeah.
He's like, I actually like being part of all this planning, this
Yeah.
stuff.
Hmm.
And then and so they dance together, and of course they have way more
Oh my
chemistry
gosh. Yeah.
than
Way.
Emma
Like,
and
okay, you
Marcus.
guys need to tone it down because just made it look so easy to dance a tango, which not everybody knows how to do.
Yeah.
And then before 3 seconds ago, you were just fumbling horribly.
Yeah.
But it was good.
And
It was good.
yeah, and I guess they've decided in their relationship that Ted's the lead when they're dancing.
I guess so.
I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Control.
And so then Emma says, oh, that she's surprised that she enjoyed fake wedding planning more than she thought. Then maybe I might want to find someone.
Mm-hmm. Because
Because
she felt, I think, because she said something like she She just liked how they communicated and talked about things together and supported each other, even when they couldn't totally understand the other person's, perspective. And she saw that support, I think. And yeah.
Yeah. And so, because we've said it many times on this podcast, but finding love does not make you any less of a feminist. That's nonsense that people
Yeah, exactly.
you don't need to be alone to
Yeah,
be an empowered woman.
exactly.
So then the grandma turns out she likes this new dinner that they made.
Yeah, she did. She liked it. She said
She's
Marcus thought he had good taste.
more open to change than people think.
Hmm.
Hint, hint. And so
Yeah.
then there's this big storm, and I'm sure that was a part of the Hill story, but I didn't stick out to me as much as watching these three. I'm like, oh, the storm is like
Yeah, I keep
big.
noticing the last night it storms. And yeah, I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember as well that one if it was,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I guess it was farther away, but yeah.
Yeah. So then Marcus and Ted kiss in the rain, and the grandma sees them, and that's
As
our
soon as they
cliffhanger.
went for it, I was like, yep, she's gonna look through the window.
Yes.
I'm like, cue grandma looking. One, two, three. There she goes. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's author Stacey Agdern and her new book, The Dreidel Disaster. From the author of The Dating Contract comes a Hanukkah story filled with hijinks, love, and problem solving. Mayor Olivia Nachman is ambitious and excited to be elected to the county legislature and better serve the community. Artur Rabnovich knows how to spin a story and fix almost any PR problem, but his skills are put to the test when he's hired to help untangle the mess that's been made in the village of Briarwood. This creates a new problem, balancing his attraction to the mayor he needs to work with and the need to impress his new boss. Will Liv and Arthur learn to compromise and mix business with pleasure without jeopardizing the project or their careers before the dreidel spins its last? The Dreidel Disaster is the third book in Stacey Agdern's Last Girl Standing series and is available wherever books are sold. For more information about Stacey, go to her website, staceyagdern.com. That's staceyagdern.com.
Next, we have the Woods family. And this is our Lucy and Sylvie. Oh my gosh, this summary is like way too long. I'm not even gonna read it. But basically, it's Lucy and Sylvie are sisters. Their mother passed away. She was out like adventuring, like away from them. And yeah, and so Lucy feels all this resentment about her mother Joy. Feels like she picked all this other stuff, this other life over them.
Yeah.
And so she's resentful of it. Sylvie still isn't as resentful, but she didn't have to carry sort of the load of being the older sister.
Exactly.
And also, like, so there's all this drama about the bakery and ideas that Sylvie has to make these joy bars. And then there's also the daughter Annie, who really likes Sylvie and wants to learn more about her grandma, but her mom's resistant to it. So it's a lot of conflict and a lot of drama. There's also this Lucy and Cole situation happening. I don't know. What do you think of this one?
I was glad, like in the first like minute, basically, that she kind of like was like, no, I have a boyfriend. Like, I'm not interested in him. He's interested in you. I'm like, okay, at least we got that out of the way. But I mean,
Yeah.
it was a lot going on, kind of. I was like, okay, I don't know if we needed like one of these things could have been not here because we already
Yeah.
a lot of chaos kind of happening.
That's a good way to put it. One of these things could have been not here. I agree.
Just one of these conflicts could have been cut. How about that? It's like it was just kind of a lot going on. But
Like
I think that Lucy and Cole are really cute. I really like them.
I kind of, yeah, definitely more of those. I loved their little date that they went on. And I agree with you that everybody knows that I do not love this kind of like family conflict kind of Christmas movie. Isn't my favorite. And this one was a lot. And maybe especially the fact that it's like conflict among sisters. Like, and, I have three sisters. And so it's just like, oh, yeah. And I found them both pretty frustrating. Like, I could see where they were both coming from. I could see why Sylvie, like, just being so pushy, and especially like when I can understand like a couple of the things that she does, but after a while, after you push this person's buttons like multiple times and you literally are a guest in their home, I would think you would be like very cautious before like basically making these bars and
Using up
redoing
all
her
the
entire
ingredients and
business.
yeah.
I mean, I just don't think that anybody is that kind of careless or that I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't feel reasonable to me that she would
Unaware.
do that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I thought like she clearly has to know she's gone too far, but I'm like, she really doesn't think so. But I'm like, I don't know how. She's just done like so much.
I mean, in fairness, this bakery sounds absolutely horrible.
I would never go there.
I would never go there. They have like no sugar. No, I mean, I know there's like gluten-free bakeries and vegan bakeries and stuff like that are a thing. I get that, but like it just sounds horrible.
I mean, yeah, if I'm going to a bakery and I'm spending like $7 on a muffin, I want it to be have sugar and all of the stuff that it should have because that's what I'm paying money for.
Yeah. Like I can understand having individual items, having a couple sugar-free items,
Yeah, a couple, but not the whole place is
but like because my mom has like huge food problems, like that she can't have gluten, she can't have eggs, she can't have like this huge list now.
geez.
And it is nice when like a place has allergy restrictive items,
Yeah.
but to have that be the entire menu,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go there.
Yeah.
No.
Give me some sugar.
So I kind of understand Sylvie's point here, but I just don't
Yeah.
think after everything that had happened that you would do that.
Yeah. That you would take it that far. It's that you
Maybe make
use up
one
all the
pan.
ingredients. Yeah, you wouldn't use up all the ingredients and make a lot and then give them away for free. It was like you just
Yeah.
did way too many. Like you could make one batch and then like do a tasting, see how the customers respond, and then talk to Lucy about it. You know, hey,
Yeah.
we made one batch, we had the customers try it, they really, really loved it. You know, what do
Yeah.
you think about adding it to the menu for a seasonal item,
Yeah. That's
whatever.
how you do things that would be sensible. Just
Yeah,
because, I mean, I don't know, maybe some people just don't avoid conflict like I do, but I would like I would do anything to have her not be if she'd already been mad at me several times.
yeah,
I would do anything to have that not happen again. So, I would just there's and from the beginning they don't really get along. She says, I don't need your help with Cole. And she says, well, I don't need him anyway because I'm dating this Greek god named Christoph. And you know that things are a little fishy with Christoph,
yeah,
obviously.
you can tell.
But she's like a big adventurer. She's gone ice trekking in Afghanistan but she tells Christoph that she's ready to move on to the next phase in her life. And then he never really responded in any meaningful way. And so, she's feeling kind of bad about that. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can kind of relate a little bit because I was very independent and I definitely wanted to get like away from, I mean, my mom was pregnant when I went away to college. So like I wanted to get as far away from like babies and, like that whole scene as I could. So it was a little bit of a different situation, but I can understand that need for independence. But also at a certain point, like how old do you figure Sylvie is supposed to be?
It's really hard for me to tell. I really don't know. I mean, I guess she must be in her 30s, but I don't know.
She's behaving like she's 23.
Exactly. She's behaving like she's 23, but she has to be like 35 or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Let me see how old.
I don't know how old she is because I know Lindy's, I don't know how old she is either, but she's in her 40s, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's another example. If they hired appropriate aged actors, it would tell the stories better. Yeah, she's 45.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
So
Then, yeah,
it just
definitely
is like, what are you doing? Are you planning on going into your retirement years? Like still ice trekking in Afghanistan, which I guess like is a choice, but like
Yeah,
it just feels less believable than somebody who's 20, you
exactly.
know.
Yeah. Hmm.
So anyway, the niece, she's got this crush on this guy, Max. But there's this girl, Stephanie, who has this like big social media following. And I feel like for the most part, that's something that a lot of shows and movies get wrong about teenagers. In my experience with teenagers today, they are way less dependent on social media than we think that they are. Like at least none of my nieces and like the teenage daughters of my friends, they're all kind of like, I don't know, they're all pretty responsible about it. And I don't know if I just know like really responsible teens and that's very true, but I feel like people my age have the biggest issue. Like I feel like older millennials, which I'm
Yeah.
like the last year of millennials, 81 is the last year. If
Hmm.
I feel like older millennials, we actually have the hardest time balancing social media because it kind of came on to us in our like
On the
late
theme.
20s,
Yeah.
like that kind of mid to late 20s. And like, so whereas like the teens now, this has just been part
It's
of their
always been
coming of
part
age,
of
like
their, it's,
of their
yeah,
growing up,
yeah, yeah.
so they never had to learn to balance it. It's just always been.
Yeah, that's true. Always
And
been,
I don't know. I
yeah.
feel like there's not that many teenagers like this supposed Stephanie,
Mhm.
and that teenagers don't care that much if you have like a following, in
I
my
don't really know
experience.
any teenagers, so I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know.
If you're a teenager and you're listening, comment, let us know. No.
Are you
But
addicted
that's just
to
my
media?
experience that they have like a pretty grounded relationship with social media.
That's good.
Yeah. Anyway, but the Sylvie tells Annie that to give the boys a little nudge. They find Joy's box in this like secret compartment. It's
Hmm.
all of Joy's, the grandma's like clothes and stuff, and so Annie starts wearing that. There's also menorah that
Hmm.
is like, it looks like her favorite things, which
Yeah.
was kind of fun.
Hmm.
And that's where the recipe for joy bars are.
Yes. In the box.
So, and it was kind of funny when Sylvie's looking at Cole and and what's her name? Um, I just forgot it. Lucy. When it was kind of funny when Sylvie is looking at Cole and Lucy, and she's like, "Why is she acting like he has a force field around him?"
That was funny because she was like going like this, and he was like leaning in, and she was like this. She's like,
Yeah.
she's like, you don't even speak to her, Jess.
That was funny. I
That
liked
was funny.
that. And she's so good about like bartering with Cole and saying like, we'll like market your company and will you do this? And
Yeah, yeah, that was actually good. Yeah.
yeah, because they have to expand this area. It's to
Yeah.
get their
You have to literally widen it to like meet
yeah,
code.
to
Yeah.
get the permit. So if they're like breaking walls, and then they install this jukebox, and that seemed to go pretty well.
Yeah.
The
She
jukebox,
seemed okay with the decorations.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like that Lucy isn't like too stick in the mud.
Yeah, because I thought she kind of went with the flow about, a couple things, but then she just went way over the line and yeah.
Yeah. And she's just like so awkward, Lucy. She's so bad at flirting,
It
which I
was
can
really,
connect with because I'm
it was
terrible.
really funny. I liked Lindy, how she did. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, because yeah, I'm super bad at that as well. And but she asks him to a drink,
Mhm.
and she's getting ready, and Sylvie gives her mom's shoes, and I thought that she was gonna like fall or something, or there was gonna be something like that, but she was just like, oh, it looks great. So
Mm-hmm.
they didn't go anywhere. So but yeah, a lot of her ideas are kind of working. So maybe there's that. She also gives Lucy this necklace that I
Hmm.
think Kristoff had given her. This
Yeah, I think
fancy
so.
necklace, yeah. So he was an only child, Cole, and so he can't really relate to all this drama.
Oh yeah, yeah. because he like wished he had someone to play with, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she,
Yeah.
she's like, not tortures me, but basically she feels like tortured by her existing.
Yeah. I mean, I do not that I mean any relationship can work, with good communication, but I do think it would help like if I was with somebody who was also from a big family, that would be a point of connection that
Yeah,
we'd
super
have,
family is big. Yeah,
and then like only child, not that they can only date only children, but if that happened, it would be a point of connection, I
it
would
would be
think,
relatable. Yeah, yeah,
you know.
we understand each other. Yeah,
hmm So, lately I'm thinking I'm ready for a change, and then they just about hold hands, and then she leaves,
yeah.
and she
She
puts
her lips were so swollen. I felt so bad. I was like, no, I want this to go well.
because she put on the lip plumper that
Yes.
Sylvie had given her, and if you do you think that she had never had this reaction before? She never had this allergic reaction.
She said something was in it and that
Bee
she
pollen.
bee pollen. And I guess Sylvie probably forgot, but she acted like Sylvie knew she was allergic to that.
Yeah.
But then she probably
Like
forgot. And it's like now she has a horrible reaction.
it was funny. Like if I was going on this big date, I would make sure that, and I knew that I had the allergy, I would make sure.
I mean, I would never think that I would never use lip plumper, but I would never think that bee pollen would be in lip plumper, but who knew? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I guess always check that stuff
Yeah,
after.
I mean, I guess if it's like a Burt's Bees or something, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. No, it's crazy.
And so then we get back and she gets really mad at her for making the joy bars,
Yeah.
which was just, it was really
She's already mad over
nonsensical.
the lip plumper. Like in her mind, she's already really
Yeah.
frustrated because she finally went on a date and then this happened. Then she used up all the ingredients and yeah, without her permission. And yeah.
Yeah. And so then this whole thing with Annie, and she kisses Max on the cheek, but she does it while taking a selfie. And the whole thing is just really weird. And
Yeah.
I can understand why Max is just like, what is happening?
Because he's confused. First of all, he's
Yeah.
a boy. Second of all, he's a teenage boy. So
Yeah.
like he's completely lost. He has no idea
I
what.
would be lost too. I would be so confused. She's
Yeah,
not
that was.
she's not a like poster person. Like what is I don't know. I just
I
it
think
would
it was advice Sylvie gave her, and it's like Sylvie,
yeah.
you're your own person. You're this is like a child, and she's not
Yeah.
you. Like that's not good
But
advice.
I think that's why I would be so confused if I was Max of like what
Yeah,
is
yeah,
happening?
yeah. This is not your personality. Yeah,
Yeah. And so then the lady comes in and she's shocked, sugar at the Woods bake at the bakery. Did they get a holiday exception? So I don't know if like Sylvie didn't know about the no sugar thing or she just didn't care. And she was like, I'm doing it this way.
oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. And
It
so
was like their whole theme or something, I guess. I don't know, but
yeah, and so she used all of because they probably don't have that much sugar there.
probably not.
If
And it had like four different ingredients. It was a lot of things that went into it, like coconut
yeah,
and some different like stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
So they gave them away. Of course, people are gonna like them if you give them away.
yeah, yeah. For free. Yeah.
Yeah. And seems like families just come with a load of hurt,
Mm.
which it is hard.
It
It's
is.
hard keeping
It's
everyone happy in a family.
yeah, because they're usually all different, and it's hard to yeah.
Again, one of my favorite lines in like any movie, it's just like this little throwaway, but I love it, is in While You Were Sleeping, when he's just about to tell his dad everything, that he doesn't want to run the business and
Um,
everything. And the dad says, that moment where everybody's happy and everybody's calm, and all this stuff. And then Bill Pullman, when he looks at me, he's like, this is not that moment.
like the bubble is about to be burst
Yeah.
right now. Did you enjoy it? Because it was literally half a moment, and that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. But then they light the menorah, and she says, I wanted to be a different kind of mom than my mom.
Yeah.
And that was like the nicest kind of moment of the idea of like her learning to forgive her mom, because it really is like, even if her trauma is like valid, which it sounds like it sounds like she has reason to be in pain, like holding on to it isn't doing anybody any good. Like yeah, like working through that is what, she it's only hurting herself,
Exactly. Yeah.
because her mom's gone,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. So then if we find out that Christoph posted a photo with another woman.
Yeah. We knew that was coming, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
not good for her to see that and go into the storm, and it was pouring and thundering and
Yeah. So then Sylvie gives her the necklace. Maybe this can fix everything I broke. And then Annie says, Mom, you need to find Aunt Sylvie. So that's our cliffhanger for this one.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Yeah.
Okay, our last one is the Lewin family. And this is our our family with Linda and Evan and Robert. Linda and Evan are the older woman dating the younger man, her ex Robert. They're there visiting. I find out their names finally watching this. Jen and Mike.
That's right.
Are the couple's names. I didn't know. This was by far the best of any of these episodes. By far of them.
It was more fun.
Yeah. I love Sir Darius Blade.
He had some. We need to get him to come on again. His projects were both good this year. Yeah.
Sir Darius Blade and Dennis Haysbert are the bromance I didn't know I needed. Like they're so good together. I loved them.
Yeah, no, they were really good. And yeah, I mean, that, we're in my house, my home. I should say my husband and I are big 24 people. So he's always forever President Palmer to me. So I was President Palmer is going to be in a Hallmark project.
I forgot you were a 24 person. I love 24 too.
My husband got me onto it. We watched it we were first dating, and I watched it with my friend too.
Man. Talk about a cliffhanger show every episode.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I feel like it was before its time, but it was so good.
I would put 24 up against any Hollywood action movie, maybe with the Mission Impossible movies exempted, like of the last 30 years. Like they are so well done. And even like the later seasons, and I love season 5. I think season 5 is very underappreciated. Jean Smart as she's so good. I think she won an Emmy for that.
They had good storylines, good villains, good. Yeah, it was good.
She's the first lady. She was so good. I love that show so much. We'll have to do an episode one day. Maybe a bonus episode or something, because I really do love that show. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, he's so good as President Palmer, and he's just a good actor.
He is. Yeah. You're in good hands.
I'm glad to have him in the Hallmark family. And of course he did that he did that one Hall of Fame one a while back, but it was glad to see him in this show, and I just thought they were so funny.
Yeah,
Stand
it
up.
was funny how she was like, they had like all the same tastes and likes, and she's just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm like dating the same person.
Yeah, so basically we have Linda and Evan that they start out like having this pillow fight, which I was like, is this Hallmark? Did I
I know, because at first I'm like, what are they doing? And because it sounds like to him, he's like thinking, are they really like being this loud and doing stuff
Yeah.
in there? And then it's like a pillow fight. And I was like, oh, okay. That
And then we have Max, he's working in this charity booth and they have to build the booth. And at first it's like a total disaster. Robert and Evan fighting over building the structure. But
mm,
by the time they finish building the structure, like Mike works on the build, and then Robert and Evan finish the build of
mm,
this like booth.
yeah.
By the time they finish, they're like best friends.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. They just must have
Yeah.
been like, I guess they were listening to music and just talking and just figured out how much they have in common.
Yeah. And Jen says to her mom, you found the perfect guy for dad.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's really funny. They're going out to the club together. They both like Al Green. And
Mhm.
I liked Robert, and he's like, some days I feel like being the grouchy old guy. And you kind of have this Evan who's like, hey, that girl kind of likes you. And
Mhm.
is Gail, I think her name was Gail.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was fun, like when he's like, she's sending me smiley face,
Oh, and all the emojis. Yeah. Heart
mistletoe.
emoji, mistletoe emoji. Yeah.
Like I didn't know mistletoe emoji was a thing, but
I know. Yeah, me either.
yes,
I'm
it
like, is
is.
there really a mistletoe emoji?
So that was fun, very funny. So then we have Mike and Jen that they're going through like some struggles because she's like super, super dedicated to her job, but she worries about losing the love in her relationship and also like having enough time with her son. What's
Yeah.
going on? Also, like Linda's concerned about it.
Yeah. She
You know.
seemed more concerned. Yeah. Because she lived it, the experience. So she's like,
Mhm.
your dad like basically worked all the time and she could never see the northern lights and do or they together they could never do these things. So yeah.
Yeah. So then, but Max asks Mike about Annie, and he's like, yeah, it's rough when relationships change. And because Mike seems like fine with their relationship, like he's not complaining about Jen working too much or not doing enough Christmas stuff. He seems like fine,
Mm-hmm.
So there may be a little bit of comparison bug happening here,
Mm-hmm.
where if this is the relationship that Jen and Mike want, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like if you want to have a relationship where you don't have that many meals like at home and you work a lot, but you're there when it's the whole quality versus quantity time argument. But
Yeah.
if you are happy with your life, then who cares
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
other people have to say? So it's kind of an interesting situation. But yeah, the I liked when and Robert and Evan and he says your one chance for true happiness is if you can flip this egg.
Yeah. They
One
were
chance for
they were
greatness. One
good.
chance for greatness.
Yeah. They were good together.
I loved that. I was like, this bromance is my favorite.
Yeah. That's
Uh, so then Evan tells Robert that he's gotten this bracelet for Linda. And he's like,
mhm.
X-nay on the bracelet. That's not
Yeah.
gonna
X-nay on the
go
bracelets
well.
for me too. No, I don't think I've like ever worn a bracelet in my life. Like besides like I'm going something like super fancy, which has happened
Yeah.
one time in my life. So it's like, yeah.
The closest I have to bracelets is a lot of times I'll have a hair tie. Like,
Exactly. That's all I have is yeah, this
yeah,
thing. And my mom is like, take that off every time I take it. Like, get rid of it. Like, I don't want to see it. Okay.
yeah, that's as close as I ever get to wearing a bracelet.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, yeah, bracelets not good. need something else.
Yeah. And she says all those years of bracelets. And he sees this lamp. I wasn't even sure that was a lamp. So
When I first saw it, I was like, what? And then he brought it. When I saw it when she opened it, I'm like, oh, okay, it's sitting on something. But it just looked like a ball when he brought it over. I was like, what?
yeah. Well, it was funny when Mike gets Jen's gift and he's like, shirts. I love shirts.
Yeah.
He
He did seem
can't
he seemed
get enough of shirts.
he did seem underwhelmed by the gift choice. But
But I give him full credit though. Like he played his part well. Like he's like Mike seemed like the kind of guy that would be a good marriage partner.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
The flow.
Yeah. Like he was
Yeah.
like, this is thanks for the shirt. Like it seemed like Jen's happiness is his priority, which is what you want, in a partner.
Yeah. And he was trying to be really supportive because she got the
Mhm.
promotion and yeah.
Yeah. And so then they have the Northern Lights lamp. Linda had never seen the Northern Lights. The best Christmas present I've ever gotten. But like she feels conflicted because she knows it really wasn't really from Robert.
Yeah, she knows.
It was from Evan.
Yeah, she knows Robert 100% influenced this choice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she's like, why did it take this long for you to do something so thoughtful?
Yeah.
And why did it have to come from Evan?
Exactly. Yeah. So she's
And
having feelings about that. Yeah.
yeah. And so then she's about to tell him about this. And that's when Gail meets up with them.
Yep. Here comes Gail.
Yeah. So then Robert blows out his knee because Evan pushes him.
Oh yeah.
And
Hockey
so but then they apologize, make up. And then she says, it just makes me remember the man I used to love. Life gets in the way. We lost sight of each other.
Yeah.
And then 35 years is a lot to leave behind.
Yeah, she said that. I was like, wow, yeah. That's like my parents have been married longer than 35 years. Yeah, it's a long time. Whew.
It's a long time. But then when they get home, Gail is there at the house.
Yeah, I was like, Gail, you are like, I'm like, would this ever happen? You saw somebody 2 times and you're at home taking care of them? I was
like, yeah, on Christmas.
Yeah, like on Christmas Eve or something. It's like, okay, this seems very unrealistic, but okay.
Yeah. So that's the cliffhanger is she's getting ready to tell him that her feelings or whatever, and she sees Gail there. So we'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that we can keep that bromance keep going, even in the inevitable shuffling. But still.
I think so. I think he's gonna get it, hopefully. That it's just they're not right for each other and hopefully be happy for them and be like, hey, it's okay, we can still,
we can still be friends.
Listen, Al Green.
Yeah.
Go get a drink and listen to Al Green or something or whatever.
Yeah. So there we go. That is these 3 episodes. Definitely episode 5 was the best by far, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was the most fun. I was laughing. I was having fun with it.
Let us know. Yeah, let us know what you think of these 3 episodes, what you think of the show so far in the comment section or on Twitter. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at awscott21.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmark is Pod, Hallmark is Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really, really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And you can check out our playlist with all of our Hallmark Plus content, all of our recaps and previews and everything else we've done for Hallmark Plus. So take a look at that. And also check out the Patreon. We have some really good perks, some really good benefits, monthly events, other stuff. Our Facebook group, please check that out. It really helps us. We really try to make it worth your money. And then we have our merch store where we have new designs for this holiday season, holiday movie inspired designs, including we've got Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life, Home Alone, all of that. So check it out. And thanks so much. We'll talk to y'all later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye bye.